Welcome South Africa to the third episode of the Reboot, where we interview local pro players, streamers, and organizations, asking them questions you want to know. My name is Koncept. Joining me today in the Reboot van is none other than Jade.
Thank you for having me.
Today we have two special guests. They are co-owners of a new powerhouse organization hitting the esports scene hard. You may know them as Gogo Mom and Gogo Dad. Join me today as we reboot The Punishers.
Welcome, guys. The Punishers were established earlier this year, and in a space of a couple of months you have become a powerhouse in the South African Fortnite community. How did you accomplish so much in such a small time frame?
How did we do that, Crazy? Come easy, how did we do that?
I think that when the Punishers came about, we brought something new to the table. There is obviously a lot of other orgs out there, but consistently we saw orgs open and close. Myself and Jade have been on the scene for a good 2 years, since about 2018. That's when we met at a LAN. And the way we run our team is with a strict structure as well, but there's an allowance to play. So yeah, we are strict with them. We are, we don't tolerate certain things, but then there's playtime. We also hold frequent meetings and touch base and chat to our team players and to see where they are, what they have opinions on. We also allow them to make or suggest certain things, so we can make decisions on them, so we can do a tournament or do this or do certain things that we do on our channel. So we interact with them. We don't make the decisions on our own. We make the ultimate decision, sure, but at the same time our gamers are involved in the process, so I think that helps as well. We check into their streams, we pop in, we donate, we chat, we sit, and I mean sometimes it's 5-10 streams a day. I mean they're all streaming, sometimes all at once, sometimes none at all, so it depends. So we pop in, we just give them some support. We also interact with the community via Twitter, via Discord. Myself and Gogadad, we get a lot of DMs regarding the Punishers, so we interact with members. We don't let them go unanswered. That website has got many players which interact with us or ask us questions, and Gogadad is always answering them. We don't let them go a day or two unanswered. They always have an answer, even if it's no, I'm sorry, we're full, but they have an answer. We have an interaction with them. Also, we're family based. We understand the kids. We're family based. We've got our own kids. We've got our own kids at game. We know what goes into it. We know what goes out of it. And we are very transparent about our expectations to the team and to the community. They know how we are. We don't falter on certain things. We might wave on certain things at a certain time, depending if it's right or wrong. Other than that, our foundation has been strict from the beginning, as well as a family-based side. So I think that's what makes us different as to an org with a boss, and then he checks in on new ones every 2 months.
Yeah, it's about the community, guys. Punishers are obviously our team, but we love to support other orgs. Anarchy Gaming, Elite Gaming, all the guys, we get behind them. So, for example, if Neymar does well, the Punishers will jump behind him and get behind him and support him. We'll sponsor tournaments in conjunction with other orgs. We want to give back. We want to be an organization that's known to give back. That's why you'll see us always doing stuff with tournaments, giving away prizes and trying to be different. And that's really it. It's about uplifting the whole community as a whole, not just focusing on us as the Punishers. Obviously, that's our priority, but we're always looking out where we can help, where we can assist, where we can obviously be a good example to the youngsters that are out there. We're very vocal about our rules and what we expect and our morals and that, and we're trying to teach the people that are in our team to grow up and become young, upstanding adults, so they get something out of this and not just a gaming experience. So yeah, we are an all-round team. We look at all aspects of stuff, and we help our players wherever we can to better themselves.
You guys are very, very structured, because you guys have players, you have coaches, you have graphic designers, you have managers, the works, and you've been really, really supportive. I can attest to that. But as an esports org, what are the major challenges that you guys have faced?
The major challenge was we're so new. If you think about it, we now, is he 5 months old?
4 months, yeah, just over.
4 months old. We're 4 months old. So, what we've achieved in 4 months has been massive, in our opinion. To get sponsorships on board is always difficult as a new org. People don't know us. Who's the Punishers? We've got individual stars in our team. You've got the Hutchies of the world. You've got the Gogabis. You've got the guys that are the Devolts, the Harperhanks, the big streamers. But as an org, we're relatively unknown, and so that's been the biggest challenge. Izzy's done a great job in bringing so many sponsors on such a quick time. That's always the most difficult challenge, and also to keep our players accountable. They're young people. Most of our kids are, is it under 20, 19, 18, round about there.
Yeah.
And it's to make them feel part of an org and to make sure they understand what we do and what we won't accept in our org. Toxicity, for example, is the number one no-no in our org. And to get the players to fall in line and follow the rules is challenging when they're not your kids or they're new to your org. So those, I'd say, were the one or two difficult ones, but overall, it's been quite good. I mean, we haven't had too many serious problems. Izzy, can you agree?
Yeah. For instance, we know, like in the future, as in next year, we might overcome a problem like the older community, your 18s and doing matric or going off now to get jobs and work. We understand their level of commitment has to be changed, obviously, because now during the day they're not streaming, they're not gaming, they have to only game on the weekend, they've got jobs, they've got lives. So we're taking all of these things into consideration and then putting things in place like getting new players or whatever to put our team in place so that we are on those leaderboards, whether anything, our Punisher is there. So we do understand that there are things and challenges that we overcome, but yeah, the overall is the sponsor thing and getting our players there. Sometimes they're comfortable and we have to keep reminding them, listen, you need placements, this is what I need you to do, and we remind them every time in those meetings and we keep them in check because they do have a job to do. We have an org to run, we are running it as a business. They have a job to do, and that's what they've been employed to do. As far as sponsors go, it's the word gaming. When they hear it, they get like, oh, gaming. What is that? And that's some big thing. Now I'm going to give money to people playing games. They don't understand it. So to try to make someone understand it and push through your passion for gaming to them, it's another challenge. To approach companies and say, listen, can you give us a little bit of something? We're trying to run this, or we're trying to run that. We're putting it towards kids, or we're putting it. It's been a challenge, but for the most part, a lot of people that have sponsored have come to the party again. So we're happy about that.
Whilst on the whole players topic, many players actually strive to actually join the Punishers. What do you guys actually look for in a player, and what's the whole recruitment procedure?
Well, yeah, go for it.
So, yeah, look, first and foremost, we will look at your social media for any serious posts regarding anything that is toxic, anything that regards racism, that we will not tolerate. We look at your posts, we'll automatically shut down from things like that. That's the first thing we go to. We pop into various streams. We don't only do our own streams, we pop into different people. Just pop in casually, whether we say something or not, we're there. What we do as we recruit, we want consistency. We want consistent gamers who can place in the top 10 on a bad day. That is our pro league expectation. We don't want them to be 20th. No, we need you in the top 10 at the most, even if it's a bad day for you. That's where you must place. And also your placements have to be consistent. When we look for a recruit, if your placement shows you came first here, but then 20th there, and then 40th there, and then back to second, I don't know what you've done in those games. I don't know why you've placed in there so inconsistent all the time. So when we recruit, we do definitely look at consistency as a whole. We expect dedication. We, for instance, put together a trial that lasted 8 weeks. In 8 weeks, I can tell you from 300, we lost about 100, not lost, but we got 100 of them who played every week. And then there was one or two only played once in that 8 weeks. I understand you've got life commitments, you've got family commitments and whatever, But those things were put on a weekend for kids who we knew had school. So that to me is your dedication to that. In the trial, you've joined other orgs. We don't go and approach other orgs at all. So you've joined other orgs, you've done this and that. So for me, you lost interest. So your dedication level. So what it's telling me, if I recruit you, or if Punishers recruit you, then that means when you lose interest in us, you'll go. You're not even there, you know, and that's a problem for us. So we look for dedication. Then we look for teamwork. Definitely our players, we like them to gel together. We know that there are different personalities, different people, different ages, which is a factor. But at the end of the day, when we put something together like the Punishers games, and we really did it just for us, and we did something as a whole, it was the most entertaining and fun thing which we streamed, and there was teamwork. And once in a while, we like to put something like that together. We get our coach on board. We put something like that together to remind them, you have other players. There's not only you in this team. You need to get to know your players. So you need to be able to work. If I say, please get onto the phone with this one, you need to play a tournament together. They need to be able to do that for us. And then basically our procedure, we will hold a trial or open applications like a ticket on our Discord. We will then take some of the applications into account. We will ask them a couple of questions. We will close applications we're happy, and then we pick or select those that we want to coach, and we put them with the Pro League players and try to have little games towards them so we can have an assessment of them. So we put together like a trial report, and then each one will have what the coach has assessed about them, and that's how we would go about recruiting. So it is a process, and some people are not patient, especially younger kids who will not be patient at holding like 3 weeks.
When you're speaking about trials, I know you guys recently held the mobile and console trials that had close to like 300 people. Last I checked, it was like phase 3. Phase 3 was coming up, and you guys had like six players left. What was the hardest part about the whole trials?
Okay, well, the hardest trial part was, like I mentioned before, it was keeping the young kids motivated for the full 8 weeks. That plays your part in the consistency that I just spoke about. Myself and Gogadad also put up funds for the Punisher funds for some of the tournaments, not all of them, but some of the tournaments. And we see that there were some who only played the money ones, so the true money ones, and then there were some that played all of them, regardless if they were for money or for practice, which was a good thing on their part. And then when we finally did go from that phase to the second phase, we got towards the Punishers, we got a lot of different tweets and hate speech and goodness knows what about we don't know what we're doing and how can we choose this one and not that one. But like you said, we had 300 players to choose from. We were supposed to choose 10, and myself and Gogadad narrowed it down to 14 because we couldn't choose 10. It was that difficult. And when we did choose, like I said, we had to handle what was all over social media, but at the same time kept our heads up. And then when we chose the 6, it was a very different outcome. There was kids, instead of messaging or putting stuff up on socials, were rather, thank you for the trial, but how do I improve? That is the difference. And those are the kids that I'm glad I kept, because I know they took that. I said, this is your report. I freely gave it to them. This is your report. This is your assessment of the trial. This is what you did right. This is what you need to work on, and let's go. And tomorrow they'll join another org, or tomorrow they might join us. Who knows? But the 6 that we've got, I know are what we were looking for: consistency, dedication, and teamwork. I know those work.
You see, you can be the best player in South Africa, a free agent, and not make our team, because we don't just look for ability. We're looking for attitude, we're looking for commitment, we're looking for toxicity. So I'd rather have a guy that's, say, 10th in SA, that is so passionate and so keen and so hard, so humble, that he wants to work and try and get better, than a guy that's number 1 in South Africa, that's toxic, that doesn't listen to people. That's how we are. So some guys in the console league maybe didn't make it, and they're great players. but we've looked at their YouTube channels, we've looked at what they say on Twitter, we've looked at their attitude, and unfortunately you don't fit in with our culture if you're attacking kids on Twitter and being rude to other kids. And so some people don't make it because of that, and that's why we got hate, because there's some better players that maybe didn't make it, and it's because of what we see and what we hear around them when they're not playing the game. So that plays a vital role in how we select people as well.
That's a great way to look at, like, recruit people. I think it puts everything into perspective, that you don't need to just be good to join anyone. You need to have the attitude and the teamwork as well.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
A big part of the community have been wondering if the Punishers will go, like, expand to other games. Will you guys expand to other games? If not, like, if Fortnite dies out?
Yes, we've spoken about it. We were looking at Valorant, we're looking at Call of Duty. So to answer your question, yes, we are looking. We want to make sure it's the right game, so we'll do a lot of homework first before we go that route. But I think, yes, definitely there is opportunities to do that, because you don't just want to be a Fortnite org. Because like you just said, Jade, if Fortnite dies, then you've got a whole bunch of Fortnite players with nothing to play. So yes, to keep the Punishers going for long term, we are definitely looking at some of the more popular games. I've discussed this with Captain and obviously with Isabel already. So in the near future, yes, that's definitely a possibility.
We also must understand that with certain games which are successful already, like your Call of Duties and that, they are successful, but a lot of our gamers, maybe 2 or maybe 3, can play. The rest can't. They're underage. So when we're taking a community of kids under the age of 16, you can't play certain games. It's not even legal. So yeah, sure, our guys are dabbling in Valorant and Call of Duties and all of that, and we allow that because we do eventually want a team like Bruce has explained. But at the same time, Fortnite wise, due to its success, and the reason its success is because it's such an interactive game, like Call of Duty, but it needs a team. That's the only difference. Where Fortnite you can play on your own. So where Fortnite is concerned, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon because of the age factor. So I think it will still remain for kids, and then the older guys merge into Call of Duties and your Valorants and all of that. I can't have a 13-year-old playing a Valorant game. We can't condone that. If they're playing it off game, that's fine. But you will not catch one of our 14-year-olds playing Valorant on stream. That will never happen because we are not allowed to do that. So that's the only answer. It's not that we want to be just Fortnite. No, like Bruce explained, we have to do a lot of homework on that.
Yeah. Okay, it's good to... Yeah, because a lot of people have just been wondering. So it's good to know that you guys stick with the rules and you guys do your homework and everything. It's a really good image you guys are portraying. You guys have been involved in organizing some successful tournaments, one of them being the charity tournament for this weekend. What is the purpose behind this tourney and who thought of it?
This is your department, Izzy. Do you want to handle that question?
Okay. Many kids that play the game, they play it daily. They then go on socials and they show how ungrateful they are about all sorts of things like the quality of their PC, the ping, etc. Not even realizing that there are bigger things in the world, like a kid sitting in a cancer ward who cannot even imagine being able to play so freely, who is tied to a machine or tied to things or has to go into chemo and things like that. And that was one of the things I wanted to remind kids how lucky they actually are. They are playing a game for fun, they're getting money sometimes and not other times. But there's kids who cannot do that, and there's thousands of them. It was when I read a Twitter post from our coach, Ruan. Anton was his late brother. He passed away to cancer at the age of 17 or 18 in his matric year. And he actually did a soapbox cup at school before he died, and their team came first. Their team's name happened to be Punishers, and Ruan sent me a picture of the shirt, which said Punishers, and everybody had signed the shirts. When I read about his story, I was floored. When I read about his story, I didn't sleep, I thought about this, I brewed, and I sat and I put together this concept. And I asked Ruin for his permission, and then I asked Jade as well. And I said, look, I'd really like to run this. I'd like to ask Ruin for his permission and his family if we're allowed to run it in Anton's name. And we did that. And that's how the soap operas came about. I can't tell you how touching his story is, and how this man told us for a good 2 or 3 months, selflessly putting together stuff and helping our team without even knowing if he was coming on the team or anything. He sent us his portfolio. We looked, we thought, oh, okay, no, I mean, it's very good, but we're not looking for that. We're not even considering it. So it wasn't like we just brushed him off. He was hanging around. We were talking to him on Discords, things like that. But he selflessly put together things for our team, helped our team. And then we thought, you know what, let's just go with it. And then his story came out, and I couldn't believe it. It was like destiny. He was supposed to be here. And that's how the Anton Soapbox Cup came about, to remind kids that they are very lucky to be in the positions they are in, being able to stream, being able to have, being healthy, being able to go to school, being able to play a simple game because they've got the ways to play. It's not because a child with cancer can't have a computer. It's because he's spending his time in hospital, which they don't take into account. And that's what I wanted to remind the kids, that there's something bigger out there. That is why it's 10,000 Rand, but 5,000 is going to them, and 5,000 will be going to CHOC. And when we donate, whoever has won the prizes, that portion will be donated in that kid's name. So it will be from the Punishers, but it will be the winner's name next to the prize pool.
I'm actually shook. Wow.
Yeah, his story was very. I don't know why he actually put it up on Twitter, but he did. I think I read that thing 2 or 3 times, and then I couldn't believe it.
I can't believe it, because Jade, was it yesterday or the day before, literally came to me and said, someone wants to know who's actually Anton. And I was like, wow, I actually don't know who Anton is, And, I didn't know the whole story. And now what you just told me is just like, wow, because charity tournaments are not really a big thing in South Africa, and they actually need to be, because they create like awareness that there's actually issues outside the whole gaming world.
Yeah.
There might be kids. I mean, there might be kids, like a whole gaming department, deals with a lot of kids, but there's issues that they're gonna bump across, like in the actual world. And charity events like these, actually just create that awareness, like, hey, be more appreciative of, like my computer that you always complain about. Yeah, someone doesn't actually have that computer,
We're really hoping that when Alex streams it, that there's going to be a lot of donations coming in that'll go to CHOC, so we're hoping to raise some money, for the organization on Friday when Alex streams. Just to give back.
Called other orgs and clans and, teams to donate with us. So if they come on and donate, I hope that they do. But yes, we want other organizations to do the same and donate with us, not just us.
Yeah, I also hope a lot of people actually pitch up. And
we've been promoting it on our Facebook and our Discord and everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you guys actually planning on being involved in more charity events in the near future? Is this like a once-off thing, or are you potentially looking at if the Punishers will type of thing?
Isabel, I know, is constantly scouring the horizons. She's the mother of the team. I'm the dad of the team. I'm the disciplinarian of the team, and Isabel's the mom. She loves, and when Gaga Dad comes down on players, mom is there to kiss and love and make them feel better. And because we're strict with our team, and Isabel is the humanitarian of the team. She's always looking. So to answer your question, 100%, Izzy's always going to be looking to find new opportunities, because like I said in the beginning, it's about giving back. It's about showing kids and giving hope and trying to change some of the culture that's been in the Fortnite community over the years. There's a lot of toxicity, there's a lot of negativity, a lot of horrible stuff going on. And Izzy's got a great heart for this, and to link it to our team and to try and get sponsors to come on board with us. Yes, we're gonna look for more, and that's Izzy's function. She'll be always trying to find new avenues where we can, especially when it comes to kids, anything that involves kids. That's obviously what Fortnite is about, really. We're happy to do that.
Yeah, most definitely, like Bruce says, we want to be an org that gives back. This is not about taking or anything like that. This is about giving back. When another org did together a charity thing they needed to raise funds for a kidney, Punishers was there. When I think I saw you Koncept at the solidarity thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was you, and Punishers was there. We donated again. That's what we want to do. It might not be our initiative, but we want to support others. So I'm hoping that other orgs can turn around and support us. And it's not us. It's not for me. The money is going straight to CHOC. That donation link goes straight to CHOC. So in that, other charities that we might do, most definitely, I prefer putting money towards a charity than anything else. If you tell me I'm helping something else or another cause, I'm all for that. So yeah, most definitely we will be doing other charity cups.
Where does one go to find out more about CHOC, and other than donating, how can one maybe help in spreading awareness this upcoming month?
They can go on the CHOC website and there's a Get Involved page. The Get Involved is a donation base, a working base, so you can go into kids' hospital and give up your time rather and colour in with a kid instead of, if you don't have money to give up your time. So yes, on the CHOC website there are places to get in. It's called Get Involved, and then there's the donate tab. Anyone can get involved. CHOC was they heard what we wanted to pitch. We showed them the poster, they advertised it, and they were floored with that a gaming place considered them. And it's not about being a gaming organization, it's about being a person and just realizing out there that there are kids and human beings that need help. And why not? One day maybe I need help, or maybe Bruce needs help. But we can give right now, and that's what we decided to do.
That's great.
Wow. I think that's amazing. And I think you guys are just exceptional in just showing that, okay, the Fortnite's known for being toxic, but let's kind of actually change that and just become this positive community that does things for other things besides ourselves, as players.
Yeah, we're trying to help young people. When I was young, I'm 53 years of age. When I was young, if I used the F word, my dad would take me around the corner and beat the living daylights out of me. Now, in today's society, you're not allowed to do that. So we unfortunately getting a lot of young people growing up thinking it's cool, looking at their idols where they run each other down, they use the F word, they swear at other kids, they call other kids this and that. And we're trying to do our part to show them that there's a better way. There's a better way to talk to people. You can play hard, you can play fair, but you can do it respectfully. And we've already achieved it because we get so many SMSs. I've been getting Twitter messages through my private Twitter asking me, Gaga Dad, how do I become less toxic? How do I change? Those kind of messages. I think Izzy's got them as well. And it's them. We push it so bad. Every time I'm on YouTube, every time I'm out there, I am constantly speaking about people being toxic and because the Punishers play very hard. We play super hard, but we play fair. And we congratulate our opponents if they beat us. There's none of this stuff, this, that. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show young people, let them, because they're going to grow up and they're going to be adults. And you want to have an adult that's respectful, that, that it's got morals, got standards. That's what we're trying to do. Now, we can't change the world. But if we can change one or two kids and let them show them a better way, then the Punishers are doing good for the gaming community.
We had one kid who actually asked that question that Bruce had said, and we made a deal. We said, he made the deal with me, and he said, okay, so every time you catch me being toxic, I'm going to write you an English essay. It's been 4 weeks. He has not had to write me an essay, and every time I will catch him somewhere and I'll go, well done. But how do you feel? I actually asked him how he felt, and he said, you know what, actually quite good, to be nice. And I thought, exactly, why can't you just be nice? It's so much easier and less effort than if you've had a bad day, stay away from social media or things that might upset you. But at the end of the day, and I know it comes with a learning process, and like Bruce says, we're not young spring chickens here, but at the end of the day, it is a learning thing. But if you start training your brain now, it's easier. It is less effort to be nice. That's how it is.
Yes. There's been a lot of people who have contributed basically to the making of the Punishers, and some of those people have been in the front lines, and often you find some of those people have been like in the backgrounds. Is there any special thanks that you guys would like to make? You know, any shout outs that, you know?
Yeah, we've got a silent partner. His name is Dave. He owns businesses in the UK. He's a very, very busy man, but he's been a real supporter of the team. He's helped out financially towards the team. He's very well connected. I mean, he's connected to Tencent, who own Epic Games, for example. He's connected to Amazon. So we've had discussions with Amazon Web Service. So we want to thank Dave, definitely, for the behind the scenes work he does, because he doesn't want to be in the front line. You know, you'll always see Isabel or myself in the front line, but we have got a third member who's in the background, who really puts in a lot of stuff behind the scenes and is really a big champion of our cause. So I would say Dave, Izzy, and then just really that's the main one. And then really our captain, well, our old captain, which was Hachi, did a lot of work. He's our media liaison representative. So if there's any Twitter war going on, the players are not allowed to get involved with that. They will go to James Hutchinson, and he will deal with it, and he'll sort it out. So we control what's put out there from the players, you know. So James has done a great job as our captain. He's now obviously our manager, because his work commitments are starting to be a bit excessive. And then obviously Gogaby's taking over the role. But I would say our team, we must be very grateful for our team. We've got a group of people that are fantastic. These are good youngsters. And I've had some harsh words with some of these kids, you know, and I've hauled some of them over the coals, and not once have they been disrespectful. Not once have they threatened, well, I'm going to leave this team. You're not my father. Not once. They've always been humble. They've always, accepted when they're in trouble. And they're going to turn out, or they already are, but they're going to turn into wonderful young men and women when they get older. So I got to thank the team, our players. Obviously, Izzy does a fantastic job. She works at this 5 times harder than I do. She really is slaving away in the background. So yeah, we've got a great bunch of kids and a great management team, which we're grateful for.
Wow. I'm just shook. This whole interview.
Our guys are special, and it's not. It really is like, if we lose one of them, it's so hard, or it's so, you know, you'll always be around or whatever, and we have so much fun off air, and we put little things together. And you saw, I don't know if you saw our last montages on our YouTube page, and I put a little video together what we've done so far, because I'm 3 months old at the time. And we put this video together, and there was this, the end page, or the second last page, is a video, and it's got all these photos on it, and that's what we get up to. It's silly things like that. It's Gogaby doing push-ups on stream, and it's we have fun. We really have fun. It's not all, you know, whipping. We have fun. Like Drew said, these guys have stuck by. They've dealt with the corona. They've dealt with their school. They've dealt with a lot of things. They've dealt with moving. They some are going overseas, and some do other sports. They've dealt with this last 5 months incredibly for young people. So yes, they've never been disrespectful to Gogadad and I. They accept when they're in the wrong, and it's just called to attention, and there's ways of doing things. And you know what? They've really stepped up. When we tell them, listen guys, you're slacking, you step up, they step up. Some of them are streaming, they're new streamers, there's old streamers, there's our content creators they've put competitions together with our own Punisher streamers, and they'll ask one of their teammates, listen, let's stream this and let's do a giveaway together. And they'll go on 2 different streams, but working together. That's their own initiatives. That's things that they do on their own. So these guys step it up. They really do. Some of them have reached over 1,000 this month alone, viewers. We were there when these kids had 63 subscribers on their YouTube. The one is sitting on 800 and something. The one's sitting almost on 6,000. So they've grown with us, and that improvement is so nice for us to see. They joke, and like I said, there's a time to work and there's a time to play. And this bunch of guys, that's why it's very hard for us to just recruit anyone. They have to gel with us. There's the chemistry that we have, and they must fit in nicely and have the same chemistry.
Well, I've got to say, on behalf of FSA, thank you for doing what you've done and what you keep on doing, because it's organizations like yours that keep Fortnite alive. I mean, Fortnite is a game in South Africa that you have 100, 200 ping or even over. It's hard to play the game on its own. But for somebody sitting out there who's watching Hachi and wants to be Hachi, they continue playing the game. Somebody out there who's watching Gogabi just slay in a tournament, they continue put in the work and want to continue playing the game. I mean, you guys have a huge impact on how people view the game in South Africa. It's not like, you know, other games where this, okay, cool, yeah, it's good graphics. They see that there's movement in the whole community. There's people that are doing things. They're organizing tournaments for us, you know. There's some free-to-play tournaments that you can just join and play. You know, you guys make it that Fortnite is alive, like I said, in South Africa. And I'd like to thank you guys for just, you know, being who you are and doing what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's amazing what you guys do. You guys honestly have inspired me as an individual to continue supporting the community and supporting everything for a good cause.
Oh, thanks, Jade.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
You know, at the end, there's like Gogabi always tells, Gogadad always tells our guys, you never know who's watching, and there could be an 8-year-old boy who just wants to watch. I mean, myself and Gogadad, we were at a tournament, and literally an 8-year-old boy, he wasn't allowed to play, obviously, because he was underage, but all he wanted to do was go see people play Fortnite. So his father took him to a LAN. He actually had a brain tumor, and he went off to do. We supported the progress of this kid. He went over to America to do various operations. But all this little child wanted to do, 8 years old, he actually won the VIP of the day that day. It made his day. He had a little shirt. He was watching players play a LAN, and he was ecstatic. He didn't play the game himself. So you never know who's watching. It's gonna grow, and when those guys go out, they want to be, like you said, a Haji or anyone in this community. That's what they look at, and that's what we try to inspire, is people like that.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for coming through. This has just been amazing. Jade.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would also like to say thank you. I honestly enjoyed this interview as well.
Thank you.
I've learned a lot.
But thank you guys. Look, we appreciate what you guys are doing. Like I chatted to you off air, it takes guys like you to also play your role. Without your exposure, without what you guys are doing, it's much harder for org like ours to get our message across and to explain ourselves. So to you, Jade, guys, thank you. Koncept, thank you so much for what you've done. Thank you for the opportunity. We love being on your show. We love what you're doing. And Joff, is anything we can do, you know, down the line with pleasure.
Thank you guys have you've taken our stuff and you've run with it. So thank you very much for that. You're welcome.